ERC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
Hey, this is James Spann. You've clicked onto our Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday morning, the 26th day of August. Faye beginning to move out of here today. That's the story. The heaviest rain east Alabama in points north and east. But Gustav is out there, and that could be an issue down the line. Let's go right to some Skycam shots around the ABC 3340 Skycam network early this morning. There's a look at the Birmingham Skycam. Boy, what a soggy sight there. We picked up another 2.5 inches of rain yesterday. Still some light rain falling this morning, but it's beginning to look more and more like the better rains today will be over on the eastern side of the state. Jasper this morning, the conditions there are looking a little better. The farther west you go, the drier you get. But boy, Gadsden, that's just wet, driving rain, tropical rains falling there. Well, let's look at the satellite imagery this morning. You can see that Faye is indeed beginning to lift out. And it is over North Alabama now. In fact, let's get down below that and look at the pressure field. And this will tell you exactly where it is. The circulation center of Faye is right over Tuscaloosa, Alabama early this morning. And the better quadrant for the heavy rain and possible tornadoes beginning to shift out of Alabama. And we'll slowly but surely get on the dry side of this thing. There's the radar this morning. We got that tropical rain band there setting up from near Montgomery up to Sylacauga and Gadsden and Scottsboro. But the showers become very scattered back on the western side of the state. Now, today, like yesterday, we'll probably see the circulation filling in even back on the western side during the peak of the daytime heating process. So I still think those of you in West Alabama get wet today, but just not as wet as yesterday. And in terms of the severe weather threat, that is shifted east. The severe weather risk over the far eastern part of Alabama and then back over into Georgia and parts of the Carolinas and southeastern Tennessee. We've got a tornado watch this morning up until 9 o'clock for southeast Alabama, southwest Georgia, and North Florida for that feeder band that's down there from near Eufaula down to about Geneva and Panama City Beach. And on top of the tornado box, we've got still all these flash flood watches across the deep south, including a pretty good chunk of Alabama, Georgia, and the southern Appalachians down through eastern Tennessee and parts of the Carolinas there. The QPF map valid through, this is through Saturday evening at 7 o'clock. Heaviest rain, again shifting northeast from near Chattanooga, Tennessee to Washington, D.C. Our friends up there should get a good soaking just like we've had. Although probably not as much rain, but they'll get a good bit. And again, that's very beneficial up there. So now that Faye is lifting out, let's don't forget, we've got other action going on here. We've got Gustav on the southern coast of Hispaniola, and we've got another wave well to the north of Puerto Rico. Here's a look at Gustav. This thing is on the verge of becoming a hurricane. Early this morning. In fact, it is a hurricane. I take that back. I just pulled up the new advisory. By golly, this is Hurricane Gustav. Maximum sustained winds are 85 miles per hour. Moving northwest at 9. Modeling on this has shifted south. The blend of the models, brings it right up into the Gulf of Mexico. Goodness. Here's the official track from the National Hurricane Center. They are on the northern edge of the guidance. And I like the way they do things. They don't just bring their track down on every model run. They just kind of phase it down. At this time yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning, they had it on the north coast of Cuba. Now it's down below Cuba, just clipping that western tip as a hurricane coming up in the Gulf. And that is very problematic. And everybody from literally South Padre Island around the Horn to Key West will have to be watching this one carefully in coming days. Let me show you what the GFDL does with it. Yikes. It brings it through the Yucatan Channel up into the Central Gulf as a powerful hurricane. And at that magic point, it's due south of Gulfport and Biloxi. Anything goes. And that certainly looks like a Central Gulf Coast hurricane to us. And we'll check the GFS and the European here shortly. The other one, 95L, there's a look at that, and the modeling on that has it moving northwest with a recurve. And will that one bend back and bother the east coast of the United States, or will it curve harmlessly out to the open Atlantic? Don't know yet, but certainly that one will not be a Gulf storm. Gustav is the Gulf storm. Okay, on to the GFS. This is where we are today at 1 o'clock. This is at 500 millibars. Big trough rotating to the northeast. Another big trough coming into the northwest United States. But around here, that little yellow patch, that's what used to be Faye. And down below that, Faye's surface low is over North Alabama. Heaviest rain shifting east. So again, today, I don't think we have the flooding. I don't think we have the tornadoes. It'll be a much calmer day today. We can be thankful for that. Tomorrow, we go pretty dry. I know we've still mentioned scattered showers. I think we can pretty much drop that if this trend keeps up as the rain is over Georgia and points northeast. Thursday does look totally dry. We start to heat up. We'll be around 90, maybe low 90s in spots on Thursday. And the same thing Friday. Looks like rain will not bother the high school football games Friday night. It's the opening night, you know. And yet we see 95 over there in the Atlantic moving north, and Gustav down there in the Caribbean. Saturday, starting off the weekend, Gustav begins to come through the Yucatan Channel. The GFS really not developing it, but that's not what this model is known for, is really getting a good handle on systems days in advance. And the other one out there continues to move north. Sunday, there is general ridging here across the Deep South, where we wonder if that trough coming through the northwest will dent that thing down a little bit early next week. Down below that, looks like there's some remnant of a surface front trying to get down into Tennessee and Kentucky. As, again, Gustav should be in the Gulf of Mexico by that point. We'll go to Monday of next week, and again, the other one is moving northeast on out to sea. Gustav is in the central Gulf. And at that point, we're showing a few scattered showers around here. And you get the idea, Labor Day weekend will not be bad at all here. Just any shower should be pretty widely scattered. Speaking of Monday, let me show you the European. The European does identify Gustav very nicely, and it's got the thing in the eastern Gulf, south of Apalachicola and west of Tampa Bay. Oh, boy. And then on to Tuesday of next week, and you know, look at that. The GFS shows a weakness in the ridge through Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. This would suggest Gustav might be turning up into that weakness. And you can see the weakness kind of includes the Alabama Gulf Coast, the Florida Panhandle. And down below that at the surface, Gustav is not identified clearly on the pressure panel here, but something's moving on up in here. So it sure looks like there could be a hurricane maybe threatening parts of the Gulf Coast by Tuesday of next week. And this is kind of suggesting maybe the central or eastern Gulf Coast. But let's just wait and watch. And quickly, the end of the forecast period, the 9th of September, the westerlies beginning to dip a little south, you know. Hey, and down below that looks like a front trying to knock on the door. And I can't wait till October, my favorite month of the year. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes on our blog, AlabamaWX.com. And if you're around here, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. The next video here by 3:30 today. Looks like the day should be a lot calmer in the weather office. So that's it for this update. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless. Weather.